Hey guys, I'm back. Anybody who's listening, I'm just gonna grab a fresh drink and we'll be good to go. All right, sounds good, Mr. I. Sounds good. All right, let's do this. Sound back up. Apply that stuff. Back. Quick play. Stream. We're live again. What's going on in the Discord while we're waiting for a new session? We're already in. Tech, what's going on, man? Give me 1 second, I'll send that invite. TechCom is back. Mr. Matthews says, Mr. I was thinking about the mall thing. Physical stores are dying off because of online shopping, but malls should focus on the mall experience. I get what you're saying. Yep. Agreed. I'm trying to send that invite. Mega. It says it's sending still. Like I got it here. Still showing as sending. Don't wanna dox any of my other friends though at the same time. It's coming. Sorry, I've still got the music up. And while I eat a bit on camera, I'm gonna share some mini Ritz sandwiches with my dog. What are we still waiting for? Nice, Mega. Good to hear, man. I had my mic on mute there while I was eating, so you guys didn't get the ASMR version of Crystal Lake Fridays. And we're still waiting, so I'll keep the music up. Because we are still waiting. Mr. I is back as well. Good to see you're back. Mr. I, another regular, has joined us. TechCom. Mega Jetty is his other login. He's here every week. Mr. I, Mega, is new this week to Crystal Lake Fridays, but I'm glad he's joined us, and we're having a good time. We've been just talking about retro stuff, talking about Blockbuster a lot, actually. Slowly fade the music out while we're waiting for it to load. Mr. Matthew says, I think malls could rise above the systematic extermination of brick and mortar stores. I think they could, man. If they did it right, they totally could. Mr. Rice says, right? The thing that people want is the experience now because the world feels fake. Oh yeah, man. Yep. There's nothing authentic anymore. Like, it's all without with the digital media and everything, instant access from Amazon, like made in China sort of thing. And it's not like it would come to the store. Like if it comes here and then you're sold in the store, it's just like that. You're missing that thing of going out. Like I know the appeal of having it delivered to the store. I can understand that, but I'd much rather go out and get it.
I can't believe he killed them.
When possible. That being said, I'm pretty bad when it comes to Amazon myself. You got it, Mr. You can't beat the human interaction. It's like you have that momentary one where your Amazon driver is dropping it off at your door, but it's just like a courier encounter. Definitely fleeting. I hear what you're saying though. And Mr. Matthew says Batman, one of the best licensed game on the NES. Oh yeah, I am. Sure is. I should have changed it. I should have changed it in the break. We had that up for the first part. And yeah, I don't know if Techie just joined us, but Mega, we were streaming before. I came on early because I wasn't doing anything, and everyone was kind enough to join in. But the stream froze, so I had to restart. Restarted like the normal time, pretty much. So if you're wondering why I was a little late, that would be why. Because we had already been on for 2 hours. Mr. I says nothing like sitting in the food court eating mall Chinese food. Oh yeah. I'm trying to remember the name of the one from the mall. Chinese food. I keep thinking of one that we have here where I live now. That's like an independent shop. Manchu Walk. That was the mall one. In my day. Says the problem is arcades died out everywhere. It's not at the mall. I think people just don't like that stuff anymore. But I would disagree with that. I think if the opportunity was there, people would go because you've got not just the more adult versions like Dave and Buster's sort of thing, where you go to play arcade games, or we have something here called Palladium. I don't know if you guys have it down there, where you go and play arcade games for the night, but people still play like Magic all the time. People still play Dungeons and Dragons all the time, and they play them at game stores. So I think you could totally work that in. You could totally work that in. If I had a game store, I'd totally have a cabinet, like a gauntlet cabinet or something. Be like the gray-haired DM. Not yet fully gray-haired, but on the way. Really? What the absolute F? Mr. Brother says in those fast food chains, they used to only see at the mall, like Panda Express, yeah. I know Panda Express and Chick-fil-A. I'm so dead. damn it. Like, what the heck? Why are you focusing on me? Sneaky rogue. Oh, God. He's got one of the custom kills. Mr. I says they do, but it needs to be upgraded. Text says, I don't know why I'm not coming through. It says I'm joined and the mic is on. Oh, hold on one second. Through the Discord? But I don't have a Discord chat open, Mega. That's the thing. I would need to open one and stream with it. I'm streaming through Streamlabs. Just Joe, what's going on? Oh, you're in the live stream chat. Yeah, but I'm not in that stream. And I'm streaming through Streamlabs. Not tonight. Yo, Mega. Alright. Hopefully that didn't disconnect me from the voice chat here. Let's catch up on it. So yeah, I'm streaming through Streamlabs tonight, not Discord. Next time I can, for sure, Mega, so you can pop in. And Mr. I says, yep, remember Orange Julius? Oh yeah, Orange Julius was the best. Inti says, arcades are still big in Japan. See, they could totally do it. It could totally work. Just Joe says, Mr. Matthews, also by the time PlayStation 2, Xbox, home systems could equal or outperform what the arcades could do in graphics and audio. Mr. I says, like they need couches in the arcade and food. That's like our Palladium. We have couches. You go there and chill. But I remember I went with, I took my guys from work there one time and they loved it. And some of them, like, were younger. They wouldn't have seen an arcade, like an arcade in its full glory. And, like, I know a lot of kids go there, but these certain people hadn't been to like a Palladium or that Dave and Buster's, that sort of thing before, so. Inti says in the West, arcades were seen as sleazy places. Yep, they were like gambling parlors at first. Probably like drug deals going on as well, to be perfectly frank.
Help! Oh God! Oh.
Mr. Matthews says, I think once the home experience got as good as or better in the arcade, that was it when it turned. Mr. I said they should have things where you can charge your phone in the arcade. Iced coffee. People want today's tech, but yesterday's social scenes. So fuse the two. Yeah, that's a great idea, Mister. You got your iced macchiatos and your phone charging stations, but you also have your old boxes, your old arcade cabinets. What I would love to have, like, a physical media store that would be video rentals, movies, music, like a music store. It would have like vinyl, maybe even like where you could lend the vinyl out. People would have to take care of it, clean it, make sure it's played with the proper needle. I'm a bit picky when it comes to that. And then also for the arcade, you'd have the big cabinets to stand up, but also the sit down. Do you guys remember the sit down, the table ones with like Miss Pac-Man and Arkanoid and that Galaga. Oh, and Galaxian. Both of them. Galaga and Galaxian. Mr. Matthews says, LOL, just Joe 47. I was in the middle of typing that. Johnny is back. Welcome back, Johnny. Mr. I says, I never heard of arcades being seen as sleazy. In the 70s, man. Definitely in the 70s. Not that I would know firsthand, just what I've seen like in movies, that sort of thing, just how they're portrayed. Jenny says, I had an odd urge to watch Galaxy Quest for some reason. Hey, Galaxy Quest is a great movie. Alan Rickman, Sigourney Weaver, and oh man, I'm blanking on Tim. from Home Improvement. How am I forgetting the guy from Home Improvement and the Santa Claus? Jeez. Brain fart. Inti says it's a stereotype. Just Joe says, I remember the days when 8-bit or 16-bit systems would give us lesser or compromised versions of the big name arcade games. Oh yeah, exactly. Especially the 8-bit version. You'd play something like that. On the NES, that was a transition from the arcade. You're like, oh, wow. Mr. Matthew says Galaxy Quest is a great watch. Yep. I still can't believe it. How am I this... Like, wow. Alan, thank you, Mr. Matthews. I kept thinking Tim Burton. I'm like, it's not Tim Burton. Always horror-focused. Tuck says, no worries, we'll try it again next week. Anyways, a new arcade opened up here in Scranton, Pennsylvania recently called Bartari. It's part of a bar restaurant, part of arcade. I remember you talking about that. I think you did a couple videos on it. But yeah, that's a great idea. Have like old arcade boxes, especially the Atari stuff, Gauntlet. Just roll with that. I'd be down. Pole position. I don't think they did Spy Hunter. But yeah, you'd have all that stuff, and you'd be able to... They'd totally be able to do that. I know they do that with bowling alleys. They have like a gaming section.
Dude, I can't hear you. Sucking back and forth as calls it.
Yeah, let's mute him out. Mr. I says, right, you want to be able to sit and chat, eat, and play games. Mm-hmm. Agreed. And Mr. Buddy says, sometimes they were better at home even then. Contra, Ninja Gaiden, Rygar. So I said, yep. What about the driving games? Oh, man. That's not... I remember, like, Daytona at the arcade, and then Daytona on... I don't think it was Sega CD. I think it was Sega Saturn. Daytona... That was not even... No, thank you. I used to love Daytona USA. Mr. Matthews says the cocktail cabinets. I love this. Oh yeah, man. We had some of those. The last time I saw them was again when I was in like university, after the record store, college. I mean, after the record store, I worked at Home Depot, and they had a couple cabinets. Sorry, getting distracted by people talking in the chat, saying annoying things. I had muted them and they were talking again. Tech says arcades need to come back so it'll get kids out of the house and playing games without sitting on their lazy butts. Mm-hmm. Mr. Matthews says that was how I originally played Donkey Kong Jr. There's another one, Donkey Kong Jr. That was a great cabinet. Burger Time. That's another one. You'd play Burger Time at the burger shop. Still not us. Tech says Galaxy Quest, the greatest Star Trek movie never made. Yep. Agreed. Agreed on that. Alright, let's go. Been a while since we actually played.
I gotta find the others.
So we got killed right away in that last one. OG says I go to Dave & Buster's with Kathy. Nice. Nice, OG. Mr. Matthew says driving games like Outrun. Sega stuff was always better in the arcades. Yeah, Outrun wasn't bad at home, but it was way better in the arcade. Mr. I says, my friend has an arcade in his house. He even had the token machine and a payphone booth hooked up to his home phone line. Nice. Are you kidding me? Tech says, fitting that you have a series called Bits and Pieces. I'm currently eating Reese's Pieces while watching. Nice. Nice. Reese's Pieces are the best, man. Most peanut butter things are peanut butter and chocolate. Anything Reese. Tech says, also watching Rush Hour with my stepdad, and I have the entire Easter weekend off of work. Nice, man. Nice. Very nice. Mr. Matthew says Afterburner was one of those legendary arcade games. Oh, I loved Afterburner. Yeah, man. That and Thunderblade, both of them in the arcade game. Remember, like, super young getting in those. Love that stuff. And you got the things around your side. I remember going to Chuck E. Cheese playing those, and they had the old school, like, Star Wars games, too. That would be at that time, like, the sit-down. You'd play, like, the Polygon. The Polygon Star Wars game. You'd be doing the Death Star run. Johnny says, Daytona, let's go away, go away. Just Joe says, Afterburner Arcade with the moving seat was hard to duplicate that experience at home. Yep, it totally was. It was like an experience. Felt like I was in Top Gun. In my head, I'm singing Highway to the Danger Zone. Mr. I says, yeah, it's in his basement, and you can enter from the driveway or walk downstairs. He stole cups from Chuck E. Cheese for the tokens. Nice. Chuck E. Cheese was great. The last one just closed here in Canada recently. Mr. I says, LOL. And Just Joe says, didn't Space Harrier have an arcade moving seat? I'm pretty sure it did. Pretty sure it did. M says, yeah, he's an electric. Mr. I says, yes, he's an electrical engineer. I remember Walden Books. That was before mall bookstores. We didn't have that franchise. We had Kohl's and Smith's Books. Those were our two. And then we got Chapters. Chapters Indigo. Those are still a thing. Tech says, we had DiGiorno Rising Crust Pizza this afternoon before work. It was good. Nice, man. What flavor? Pepperoni or just cheese? Oh, and Borders. Yeah, we had Borders as well. Borders Bookstore. DiGiorno is awesome, says Mr. I. And Johnny says, talk to me, Goose. Come on, Goose. Talk to me. But really, I'm serious. Playing that Afterburner game in the arcade, it was an experience. You felt like you were flying that F-14 Tomcat. Really? Thanks for the ride, lady. If it was a female. That reference would be incorrect, but we'll say it was one of the female characters driving. Johnny says, man, that Afterburner that spinned and swiveled while sitting in it. Oh, yeah, exactly, man. Had hydraulics. Tech says, dude, I love the Star Wars arcade game. While I not try to make false claims of being undefeated, I can say that I've never missed the exhaust port in the trench run. Been killed, but never missed. Nice. Very nice. Oh, yeah, that's a great one, man. And then they redid it. I remember they did it. Oh, no, it wasn't that one they did. They did the X-Wing game that was on Sega CD 32X. And Tech says Just Cheese. Oh yeah, man. Just Cheese is a good way to go. That's right. It says, man, I miss Borders. I really like that store. I hear you on that, man. I think we have one Indigo still here. So, and again, but I go to the library. Having the library sucked really, closed now really sucks because I would go there for older movies, older TV shows, newer releases for movies, but I'd get a lot of books too. But I guess there's audiobooks for now, but I prefer like a physical book. Tech says Borders here was replaced by Books A Million. Mr. Matthews says many a comic book was purchased at Walden Brooks. I always had my local comic book store for that, and it was called, like, I seriously say it was called like my friendly neighborhood comic book store. It was like an indie place. But I would always get my stuff, or I'd buy the cheap, the repackaged. They would dump, like when comic book stores would dump their unsellable stuff into discount stores, and you go to like your secondhand places, not secondhand places, but your like discount stores. Here it was You could find them in Zellers, like a Kmart equivalent, and there would be a bag of 3 for $1. Or sometimes there would be even like a bag of 6 for just a little bit more, maybe $1.50. Possibly like the $2, so they're both about the same price. But there would always be one good comic in there that you'd kind of want. But it'd be like, that was before you would know like the repressing thing. You wouldn't know it would be like the 17th repressing of that edition of Amazing Spider-Man. And then you'd have like 5 comics you were total trash. Mr. I says, yes, Mr. Matthews, that was my comic book store. Inti says, will you get your copy of New Warriors or Gotham High? Yes, Gotham High. And the New Warriors. Is that with Snowflake and Safe Space? And the guy that got his powers from his grandfather's radioactive gas or something? Mutant gas. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to pass on those, Inti. Other things I'm sure I can find to spend my money on. And Tech says, I remember Afterburner beating in Terminator 2 and Suburban Commando, although in the later it was treated as an alien pilot game where you had defeat warlords named Dagos. Give it up, Dragos. Get out of the way, Tommy. I'm trying to check friggin' drawers, useless. And Mr. Ice says Borders was an awesome store to hang out in. That's what I used to do at Smith's Books or Kohl's. Just go in there to look good, chill out, and hang out in the store. Mr. Matthews says I worked at Spencer's Gifts one Christmas season while I was in high school. That was one of the most fun jobs I've ever had. I wish I wasn't just holiday help. Mr. I says, Spencer's Gift is awesome. We have Spencer's here as well. We have Spencer's. We used to have an independent place called the It Store. It was the same thing. But then Spencer's took over those locations. M says, Mr. I says, I bought my coffee mug from there. Do you remember when Left 4 Dead first came out and the designers had a special night on Xbox Live? Everybody was on that night. Another fun Xbox 360 game was 1 versus 100. Oh yeah, 1 versus 100. I remember that. Isn't that, no, wait a minute. I might be thinking of an actual game show. Mr. Matthews says the regular employees were quick to teach me all about the 5-finger discount. At the time I was like, this is a thing, really? The poor store manager. That poor store manager, yeah, indeed, man. Tech says, this week I've been streaming on my main account my playthrough of Insomniac's Spider-Man's Game of the Year edition. I'd stream RE2 Remake or RE3 Remake, but Walmart was sold out. Yeah, I saw you were streaming that the other night, man. Glad to see you were able to get a hold of it. Because I know you were debating between all three, but I guess you bought Spider-Man because the others were sold out. Mr. I says it was an Xbox Live game that aired every Friday night online. Oh, got it. Got it. Moira, what's going on? Moira has joined us tonight. Thanks for coming in. Just doing our usual thing here. Just chilling out, playing some Friday the 13th, talking about everything. We're reminiscing about malls, bookstores, Xbox Live. Lots of good stuff. Well, Papa Bless didn't make it. And dead. And Mr. I says, yep, nostalgia. That's what we were talking about. And M says, Mr. Matthews says, at dawn, is that Batman on your wacky NES multi-cart? Sure is. It sure is. So it's not quite the... It is the game, but it's like a ROM of it. So the sound's a little off, and the pic's a little off. But hey, I'm not that picky. But I'm going to criticize the frame rate or the hertz of an NES game. But no, we can change it to a new game. While we're waiting for Couch here to stop being such a hider, we'll grab the old NES controller. We can hit the old reset button. And it's Tommy. Hiding as Tommy, how pathetic. So there it is. Starts in Japanese and you can switch it to that. You got Ninja Turtles, Contra. There's 7 or 8 Contras on here. I'm not sure if those are all the NES versions. All 3 Ninja Gaidens. We're talking Ninja Gaiden. We got Double Dragon. Double Dragon, there's another great game. So yeah, we'll go with Ninja Gaiden. Or Ninja Gaiden. Mr. I says, I remember a movie called Phantasm. Oh yeah, man. Makes my head explode. And what's the main character's name in that? Oops. Snow, what's going on, man? Yeah, I got killed alright. It's killing time. Thanks for coming in. Good to see you this week. Mr. I says Double Dragon was the arcade game for a while. It really was, man. It really was. Put so many quarters in that thing. Yeah, now we're watching the backstory of Ninja Gaiden. I will get my revenge. What the? What the? What the? Mr. I says Gen X are all gaming junkies. Look at it's a pirated version. It's called Shadow Warriors, guys. Shadow Warriors. But Gen Y as well, man. The next Gen Y. Gaming junkies hardcore. Boom. Shadow Warriors. Oh boy. Mr. Matthews says, I say Gaiden. What's everybody ruling on that? Gaiden or Gaiden? I say Gaiden. Or Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden. And he says, Mr. I had flying razor steel balls. Jenny says, Phantasm was great. Oh yes, the tall man. Mr. Matthews says, I've yet to see Phantasm. I've been meaning to check it out. It sounds like we might have our watch party movie, guys. Inti likes it. Mr. I likes it. Johnny likes it. M needs to still see it. I think we might have our watch party movie. The first Phantasm. It's a movie I've watched and I know, but it's not a movie that I know like the back of my hand. So it'd be good to go and watch it. So we can actually watch it and talk amongst each other and you guys can tell me stuff about it. Rather than me just saying, oh yeah, this part and this part, which is interesting from my perspective, but that way we're all like, you know, participating, contributing, because I know Megan knows his movies as well. Megan knows his stuff. There we go. Boom. There we go. Next week, guys. Next Friday. Joe Bob did it on Shudder. Perfect. But if we watch the Joe Bob version, we'd have to watch the actual... are we going to watch the movie or are we going to watch the Shudder version? But that's what I'm going to do next Friday, man. Phantasm Watch Party. Crystal Lake Fridays. Be there. I think it's time... we'll give it one more game. Angus Grimm. And I think they made 4. That's what I was going to say. I'm sure I've seen 3. I don't know if I've seen 4. Couple more games and then we'll switch to Chad. So while we ready up, I'm going to choose a different game. Shadow Warriors. Let's see what Ninja Gaiden 2 is called, or Ninja Gaiden 2 is called. See if it's actually titled. Whoops. Watch the original. Yep. That's what we'll do. We'll watch Phantasm 1 next week at 8 o'clock. Or 8:30 if it works better. Because I'm Mr. Matthews. No, it actually is a Mr. Ninja Gaiden 2. Or Gaiden. I was hoping for another funky title. But we'll do that. Maybe we'll watch it at 9. That way everybody has a chance. We'll see what Mega schedule's like too. We can always watch it at 9 or 10. Like I could stream for a bit, and then we could do the watch party. And Mr. Matthews says, whichever version has the most nudity, that's the one I'd like to see. Well, we're not going to be watching that on my channel. It's going to be on our own end, so yeah. Tech says, the only Phantasm I know is Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Hey, man. That's a good one. Mr. I says, the first one and the second were the best. You got to see it, Tech. 8 is good. So, yeah, we'll go with that. If we need to push it back a little bit, we could go like... Because it's only going to be like an hour and a half. I could start streaming for a bit if some people need some time. We start the movie at 9. Or, well... I normally go at 8:30, Mr. I, so we'll probably go with that. We'll go with 8:30. That way everybody can attach to it. Tech says, I have Shadow Warriors, the 2013 remake. It's fun. Then I actually think it's better than Doom. Mr. Matthews says, Shadow Warrior is such a weird name for Ninja Gaiden. Yep, or Gaiden. I don't think that was the real Shadow Warrior, Tech. It's a pirated cart. So and he says Dark Sword of Chaos. And Mr. S says cool. It's the ultimate B movie. It really is. It's one of the better ones for sure. One of the more high quality. Alright, while we're waiting still, because we still haven't loaded in. There's still 3 people that haven't readied up. Let's see what else we can choose here. We get the 4 RoboCop movies somehow. That doesn't even look like RoboCop. This is RoboCop 3. Super Rescue? It's a Japanese game. So it's from the Famicom. Oh yeah, I tried this game before on this cart. It's pretty cool. I wonder if this got an American release. I don't recall it. Super Rescue? Huh. That. Johnny says, here's a movie I'm sure no one has thought about since the 90s. A kind of TMNT spin-off live action movies. Warriors of Virtue. Warriors of Virtue. Whoops. Put the first RoboCop game in. The first RoboCop game is great on the NES. Warriors of Virtue. Let me check that out. Jog the old memory. Oh yeah, yeah. The poster. Yes. Now I remember. That one came out in 97? That late? 97? It was 2 hours long. While we're waiting, I should bring that up. Sorry, guys. I know we don't normally do this. Here's the Wikipedia. 97 Chinese-American martial arts fantasy film directed by Ronnie Yu, starring Angus McFadden, Mario Yedida, and Marley Shelton. May 2nd, 1997. Text says Shadow Warrior 2013 is a video game made in 2013. Remake of the Doom clone game of the same game. It's Doom with a Japanese vibe with a katana replacing chainsaw. Nice. Mr. I says one of the scariest movies I ever saw was the original Salem's Lot. Yes, this is true. Mr. Matthews says Super Rescue. I wonder if that's like Rescue the Embassy Mission. No. I should have let it play for a bit. You're like a robot guy. It kind of reminds me of Bionic Commando with the controls, but it's not. I loved Rescue the Embassy Mission. That game was great. Such a simple concept, but and some really like low budget graphics, but I love that game. Used to play that for hours. Johnny says, yeah, I thought that mid-90s, it's LOL, and Wendy Peppercorn's in that movie, I guess. That was Marley Shelton, wasn't it? Wendy Peppercorn, my darling. Mr. I said the part when his dead friend is tapping on the bedroom window trying to get in used to terrify me. Oh yeah, man. Yep, I do remember that. I blocked it out as much as possible through the years. And Mr. M said, yeah, we're usually on the same wavelength there, Mr. Matthews. And I think we are there. I guarantee you we blocked that out. Our minds put us at ease by conveniently forgetting it. You don't need to know this. You don't need to recall this. You've got more important things to capacitate and store. Text says something interesting happened this week while rewatching Double Impact starring Van Damme with my stepdad. The movie gave me an idea for my Batman pastiche. My Batman and Bruce Wayne are two separate people. Oh yeah. Well, would it be like Bruce Wayne, like not younger, but like actual Bruce Wayne, like middle-aged, or are we talking like older Bruce Wayne than with somebody playing the part as Batman? Johnny says, I only know the main actor from the movie Jack with Robin Williams and Under Wraps, the Disney movie. I remember Jack. I don't think I've seen Under Wraps, but I do remember Jack. Oh, there you go. Twins. That makes sense. Twins reunited after the brutal murder of their parents, trading each other's lives. Cristiano Ronaldo's playing. We're with soccer royalty. Playing a little F. Everybody's playing a little F-13 tonight. Apparently. Oops, went the wrong way. Started going back the way I had already run. Mr. Matthews says, the scariest movie I watched as a kid was friggin' Poltergeist. That movie absolutely destroyed me. Couldn't sleep for weeks. Oh yeah, man. I understand that. I don't remember what age I was when I saw Poltergeist, but it still shook me. Or The Exorcist. That too. Oh look, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. They're Vanessa. Otherwise known as Jason Alarm. Or Jason Bait. It's like, here, Jason, Jason, Jason. There's a Vanessa for you.
There, got it.
And Mr. I says, after seeing that scene, I made sure my windows were locked tight every night. Again, completely understandable. Mr. Matthews says, I have no idea. Wow, my parents let me watch it. I think that was the same way with The Exorcist for me. Because they wouldn't, or Jaws.
What happened?
Jaws was another one for me. Because like I said, they wouldn't let me watch Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. The ones that they had at the time. But they let me watch Jaws and The Exorcist.
What is that? God, I can't look.
So I hear you on that. Mr. I says, dude, you know, it was a frightening movie, a movie called Darkness. I think it came out in 2002. I remember Darkness.
Crystal Lake. It's Jason. He's back.
But I can't remember who's in it. That's another one we need to bring up. Text says, I mean, comic writers and fans keep making Bruce and Batman act as two separate people, and I thought I'd make them two separate people. A good twin as the billionaire, and a bad twin as the vigilante. Also, it would be like the Frank Miller, The Dark Knight. Yes, Anna Paquin. Yes, I was trying to remember who the main guy in it is, but I know. Yes, Anna Paquin. Dude, once you see it, you'll sleep with the lights on. And M says, Darkness, never heard of it. Is it a monster movie? And Mr. I says, Poltergeist didn't scare me, but Salem's Lot, man, look. And he says, I never found Poltergeist scary, nor any of the other big ones. Only Freddy Krueger did it for me. The idea of a dream killer was scary, but I remember a couple of TV commercials that traumatized me. Mr. Matthews says, to be fair, guys, I've always been an easy scare. I was when I first started watching horror movies, that's for sure. I think I became like more numb to them. Because when I first started watching them, they definitely had that effect. I hate when people follow me around. Just do your own thing. Mr. Matthews says, Darkness can't really be explained. You got to see it. I'm going to bring it up on screen after we're done this run. Text says, speaking of Anna Paquin, there's a rumor she might reprise her role as Rogue in Captain Marvel 2. I made a vid on it on my main channel. I remember when that rumor happened. I'd be okay with Rogue coming back. Or her reprising the role as Rogue. And Mr. I says, make sure it's the 2000s one with Anna Paquin. Will do. But first, we have to escape. Oh. Contentment. Tommy Jarvis is being played by Contentment. OG says, I wasn't much scared by movies, but I had an irrational fear of gargoyles and Bigfoot, lol. Oh, like Sasquatches? Bigfoot? I hear you on that. Or Sam Squanches, as the Trailer Park Boys refers them to. Julian, that's a fucking Sam Squanch. Looks like a 12-footer. Mr. I says, we actually bought that from a video store as it was closing. Man, I miss video stores. Oh, I hear you, man. Same here. Whoops. Mr. Matthews says, LOL, I'm not even ashamed to admit it. Every night going to bed, I'm looking over my shoulder, going down the hall. Hurry up and jump on the bed so nothing grabs my foot. How do you know it's going to be that end over there on the right, guys? It could be the one on the left. That's why I'm going to wait in the cabin. Text says, just so long as she sucks Carol dry so she can't come back, and if she does, she becomes the villain and the name Captain Marvel passes to either Rogue or to grown-up Monica Rambeau. That's who they have to pass the torch to anyway, because that is Captain Marvel. Carol Danvers was Miss Marvel. Was Captain Marvel for like 2 seconds. Mr. I says, anyone remember Pumpkinhead? Yep. With Lance Hendrickson as the dad. I want to say it was a dad that he died and he came back. But yeah, great Stan Winston Creature M. Bang on with that. Oh, it is that one. How did they know? Oh, Cristiano Ronaldo quit. Man. Never picked him as a quitter. I thought he was a champion. Heart of the champion right there. Reminded me of the alien a bit. Oh, the xenomorph. Yep, I hear that. Pumpkinhead. Johnny says Pumpkinhead always freaked me out with the elephant man looking guy.
Please, no!
I think everybody has escaped for contentment. So, Cristiano Ronaldo escaped and quit. No, there's 2 people here got murdered. 2 people have escaped and quit, but that would make... And Mr. I says, oh, and another great horror movie is Event Horizon. Yep. That's another good one. Add that to the watch list. We're making our watch list right tonight, our watch party list. We'll do watch parties every other Friday, or we could do it like once a month. We'll see how this one goes. We could always play it by ear. Mr. Matthews says, that was pretty good. Definitely What's His Face best movie. Sam Neill. Oh, yeah. That's who you're talking about? Paul W.S.A. Anderson or whatever. Yep, definitely. Better than the Resident Evils, that's for sure. Or the Alien versus Predator, thou shall not be named. Mr. I says the idea was terrifying, being trapped in a possessed ship in space. That's for sure. Okay, Ari. Just mute them out. So darkness. No, here we go. Supernatural horror movie directed by Jean Balaguerro, starring Anna Paquin, Lena Olin, Ian Glenn, Giancarlo Giordani. And Feliz Martinez. I want to say I saw this in the theater and I haven't seen it since. I went to a lot of movies around that time, and I had a thing for Anna Paquin at the time, so more than likely I saw that in the theater. Let's go to IMDb. 3 out of 5. No, Joe Exotic. Get out of here, Tiger King. There, I have a story about Tiger King. Are you guys familiar with Number Neighbor? I only learned that last year, that the Number Neighbor thing was a thing where people would text you based on your number if they're 1 digit off. So if the last 4 digits are 3289, 3288 would text you, say, hey, Number Neighbor, what's going on? I'm bored. What do you think of this? Somebody texted me asking me if they thought Carol Baskin killed her husband. Hey, Number Neighbor, so what do you think of Carol Baskin? Did she kill her husband or what? I was dying. I was dying. Lawrence Fishburne, yep, that's who I thought the other person was. Samuel Lawrence Fishburne. Mr. Matthew says better than Mortal Kombat even. Oh, yes, he did Mortal Kombat as well, W.S. Anderson. I don't know, that was pretty good. And Mr. I says, can't forget good old Freddy. That's for sure. Mr. Matthew says, yeah, I'm curious about this Darkness movie. It's about ghosts. If it's about ghosts, I'm in. I think it's a possession film, Mr. I, if I'm correct. Teenage girl moves in a remote countryside house only to discover their gloomy new home has a horrifying past that threatens to destroy the family. Mr. I says, a really spooky film. Darkness is creepy, and it is. Oh, it is. Ghosts. Demons, ghosts, yes. I thought there was like a possession angle to it. Mr. Matthew says, if it's about demons, I'm out. Devil movies do not scare me at all. It's a demon ghosts. So it's about 50-50, so worth a shot. OG says there was a big tree halfway between my friend's house and mine, and we would walk each other that far at night, then each run home. Monsters couldn't get us both. Nice. NT says Mortal Kombat is pretty good. Yeah, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Is that it's Mortal Kombat's a pretty good movie.
Oh God, what am I gonna do?
Mr. Matthews says, Mr. I says it's really eerie. The Darkness movie. And that, Mr. Matthews says that's a good strategy, OG. Splitting it up at the halfway point and then running home. Hello, hub. Mr. I says you won't want to be in the house alone with the lights off after watching it. That's for sure. Inti says, what's that Ethan Hawke movie with the 8mm segments? Mr. Matthew says, oh gee, you were scared of Bigfoot though. What about UFOs and aliens? Mr. Matthew says, the Baguli movie. about the Ethan Hawke movie. I don't recognize that, so. Oh, Bones, yes, the Mr. I. With Snoop Dogg. Yeah, Bones was a great one. Tales from the Hood was another decent kind of, like that early 2000s, like the, well, the more like late 90s, early 2000s, like kind of like a rebirth of the blaxploitation movies, and then you had the comedy ones, the stupid comedy ones, like Soul Plane. I don't mean the movie stupid, I just mean the form of comedy. Mr. Matthews says where the demon gets the kids to kill their families. Johnny says Gattaca. And Inti says those are great. One particular segment made me physically uncomfortable and anxious that had never happened to me before. It was those segments, though. The rest were generic crap. And Baguli, yes. And Mr. I says, yes, Tales from the Hood. Tales from the Hood's a great one. With the caretaker. I want to say the caretaker was, he was also in People Under the Stairs, but he was one of the characters in the Mod Squad. He was Link in the Mod Squad. I want to say it was the same actor. Could be wrong there. Text says, well, I've been working on completing Blue Shogun. I've been writing the first chapter of my Terminator Resident Evil fans vid series. Nice. Now, chapter 1 focuses mostly on Terminator characters getting to Raccoon City before the Arklay incident. Any ideas on a title? Another one you gotta, Mr. I says, another one you gotta see is Death by Temptation. It's on YouTube for free. Death by Temptation is good. I'll check that out. I'm not familiar with that one. As for your title, Mega, let me sit on that for a bit. Then I'll come back to you. But if anybody else wants to throw some ideas out there, Resident Evil and Terminator mashup. Mr. Matthews says, Inti, I know the movie. I can't think of the title for some reason. Those 8mm segments were unnerving. Reminded me of the film Inside the Ring. Yes. Ringu. Ringu was great. And Ju-On. I probably prefer Ju-On. The Grudge. The original Japanese version. Love that movie. Inti says Sinister. I just looked it up. Ah, Sinister. Yes. OG says UFOs and aliens might be real to a kid, but Bigfoot might eat you. Plus, we're pretty sure we saw him hiding behind that tree. I can almost guarantee you did see him hiding there, because I've had the same feeling about other things back in the day. That's for sure. Oh, that. Well, somebody's already called the cops, so it looks like we're standing in the cabin and talking again. Text says, so far I have a good subtitle, Road to Arklay. Oops. Mr. Matthew says, OG, Bigfoot is nice. Haven't you seen Harry and the Hendersons? It's the abominable snowman. Is one of the one you need to be scared of, like in Snow Beast. But no, he's not scary either. Like Rudolph the animated cartoon, the claymation from the 60s one, taught me that the abominable snowman could also be fun and nice. He just had to take his teeth out, and he's all good. Harmless. Mr. I says another good one is Pulse from the 2000s. You're throwing ones at me. Death by Temptation and Pulse. Inti says Suburban Sasquatch. Sam Squanch. We'll just stay active enough that we don't get kicked. Oh, there's a fan's picture, one of the backpackers in the game. 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes of jogging around as Deborah. Old black and white photos, like really. I'd want to say that's before World War One. Definitely earlier than the 20s. Night Killer, yes, Johnny. It's still on my list. Night Killer, Pulse, Death by Temptation. I should have a notepad, but I don't want to bring it up on the screen. Or, I guess, since we're sitting. Death by Temptation. But I do have a notepad with Night Killer on it. I still gotta watch that. We should add that to our list. So we'll do Phantasm, and if that goes well, our second watch party will be Night Killer. Because that one's available on YouTube. So it'll be easy for us to get to all have on. Mr. I says, you can see Death by Temptation. Pulse, I don't know. OG says, logical and probably true from the evidence. No Snowbeast in Houston, so I'm probably safe. Tech says, basically the first half of the story is developing the characters and showing their interactions, while the second half is the events of RE1 itself. Mr. Matthew says, Ethan Hawke's character was a piece of S, if I remember correctly. Still editing, because we had a lot of F-bombs last week, so I'm trying to keep this one a bit more family-friendly. Mr. I says, The Night Flyer by Stephen King. Mr. Matthews says, have you seen Nightcrawler? If you read the story, watch the movie. Read the story, watch the movie. Nightcrawler. Is that the one about the killer from like the 60s or the 70s? And NT says, I saw it once years ago, but then those 8mm segments left a mark in me even as a grown man. Everything else is not that good, but those 8mm parts are great and truly terrifying. Yeah, the night. Mr. I says, a vampire that flies around in airplanes. Stephen King is crazy. See, Stephen King, OG, he never needed to be in a northern climate to have a snowstorm, that's for sure. Stephen King, in the late 70s and early 80s, it was snow flurries every day. Because, yeah, some of the ideas that dude came up with. Mr. Matthews says that he still has a coffin in the plane. Well, he's got to go to... He can only come out at night. Night Stalkers is the 80s movie. Oh, Night Stalker, yes. That's what I thought you were talking about. Oh, we are here, finally. Another survive. It's been a while since the beginning of the night. We started off so well, like 3 for 3. Then we've just been getting our butts kicked. Mr. I says another scary movie. It's 30 Days of Night. Yep. Yes, Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal. I remember you talking about it before. I remember you and Inti were talking about this movie before, and I have not had a chance to see it yet. Where he's a reporter. Yeah, he's like an investigative reporter or something. A weirdo journalist who looks for gory stuff. Bang, Inti, you got it. M says, it was really good. That's Nightcrawler. Texas, maybe Terminator and Resident Evil Road to Arclay, and the second can be Terminator plus Resident Evil Road to Raccoon City. Yeah, you can do that, man. That would work. Mr. I says true. The plane is actually in the coffin. And Mr. Matthews says, OG, is that the one? Oh, OG was asking me the question. Sorry, OG, I misread that. I thought it was Mr. Matthews asking me. But no, I have not seen it because I remember in a previous show that we've done, a previous stream, I'm sure Mr. Matthews or NT was talking about Nightcrawler. You might have brought it up before, OG. I do apologize if it was you. Mr. Matthews says, Mr. I, that's right. I remember the main character finding coffin dirt or something under the plane. And Mr. I says, yep, it's on YouTube for free. Mr. Matthews says it was a stupid idea, but I like the end where the vampire was peeing blood in the mirror. And Mr. I says, that was scary, Mr. Matthews. I have to check that out. Why was the vampire peeing blood in the mirror? And Mr. Matthews says, peeing blood is pretty scary. That's true. OG says, I'm thinking of doing a movie review on Night Stalker, a 1972, a great TV movie with Darren McGavin as a reporter. Ah, okay. Nice. I have not seen that one, OG. Mr. Matthews says, I had a kidney stone once, not a good time. Ouch. Ouch. I sympathize. Johnny says, question for thought. Pick 10 counselors from first 4 Friday the 13th movies to take on Jason again. Well, you'd have to have Alice. If she survived, you'd have Alice. Ginny for sure from part 2. Chrissy. Just all the final girls. They're the first 3. There's 3 of them. But no, I would bring back Axel, the biker, because it was Axel was the bigger guy that got his arm cut off. It was Fox was the girl. Axel was the dude who got clubbed, Billy clubbed, but then he was still alive, or blackjacked. What was the other guy? Loco. So yeah, it was Axel would be one of them for sure. Probably Paul from part 2. I don't know about part 4. All the counselors in part 4, all the partiers, they're all so useless. I don't think I'd want any of them. If we get Tommy, you have young Tommy, so I guess you have to bring him back. And his sister, Trish, you'd have to have her back. But the rest of them are all so useless. All so useless. And I don't know about the rest of the first one. From the first Friday the 13th? Maybe, what's the guy's name? The guy who gets arrowed by Mrs. Voorhees. It's not Paul. I keep wanting to say Paul, and it's not Bob. The one that's at the end with Alice. They're the last 2 alive, and then he's hanging off the door. Probably him as well. And Mr. I says the reporter thinks he is just a regular killer, and he trails him to an airport. And OG says it leads to a TV series. I'll have to check it out. I'm not updating. I'm not upping yet. We got Jeffrey Epstein and coronavirus 19. Oh my god. And Mr. Matthews says The vampire was used in the bathroom, and in the mirror he was invisible, obviously, except there was the blood he was peeing hit the urinal and drained down. Oh, And Euler Greg says, ouch, M. Mr. Matthews says, actually it didn't hurt, but I found out about it because I peed blood and we immediately rushed to the emergency room. And Mr. Well, at least Jeffrey Epstein is polite. And Smart Guy 381983 says, surprised I haven't seen Carol Baskin on here. Mr. I says he slips on blood at a slaughter scene in the airport, so he goes in the bathroom in the airport to clean it off. He then hears footsteps behind him, but sees no one since the guy he's chasing is a vamp. Ah, okay. Oh, chasing him to get a story. The vampire. It's two different things. I thought you were talking about the same movie as OG. Mr. I had to apologize. Johnny says a lot of water and pure cranberry juice to keep that from happening again, Mr. Matthews. And Mr. Matthews says, did you see the movie or read the story or both? To Mr. I. I do not like who they cast as the main character in the movie. And we're talking about that vampire again. The flying vampire. And Mr. I says, and like Mr. M says, once the vampire starts peeing in a urinal behind him, he sees the blood in the urinal. Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. He's in the same room as the main character. Got it. Now I get it. Surprised I haven't seen your mom here. Oh boy. Johnny says I'd pair her up with Vicky from part 2 and take my chances both ways, to be honest. Pair off with Vicky part 2. Take my chances to both ways, to be honest. Says Johnny. Mr. I says I never saw the movie but heard they changed it. And Mr. Matthews says yes, I've been trying to drink a lot of water since. And Mr. I says, for instance, the girl is not in the book. Oh, in the movie there's a girl, but they're not. That got added, but that's not in the book. But was the book an actual full book, or was it like King's short stories? Because I know some of his movies from the 80s, like Maximum Overdrive, just came from a short story. It was called like Trucks or Cars or something. Short story, thanks, Sam. Originally a short story, so they had to add to it being the run-up time, I'm sure. Sounds like the same thing they did with Maximum Overdrive. Oh! This could be us! And it's not. Because again, there's like 8 people playing on part 8. Text says the events of Code Veronica can be Terminator and Resident Evil Code Terminated. That's not bad, Code Terminated. Mr. I says short story, thank you. That's what I figured. Scott, what's going on? Multi-minded Scotty is here. He says, hey Pete. Hey there, Pete and everyone. And Mr. I said they also added the girl for political reasons. Mr. Matthews says, it was in Nightmares, Dreamscape, Skeleton Crew, don't remember. Oh, where the short story was, got it. And Mr. Matthews says Trucks was good. Oh yes, the short story that led to... Yes, Scotty, Who Made Who by AC/DC, good song. Hell's Bells from that movie as well. Mr. I says I also like the original It. Yep, the original It's awesome. With Tim Curry as Pennywise. Where the Mike character is actually a main character and not like a side story. That they completely changed in the new movies. And recast him as the Old Spice guy. Mr. Matthews says Maximum Overdrive was as good as it could have been. I guess. Killer soundtrack, totally by AC/DC. I like it for what it is. It could have been a lot better, but I didn't mind it at all. Like the Green Goblin truck as a kid, being a Spider-Man fan, that blew my mind. Yes, Nightmares, Mr. I. Does anyone remember Nightmares with Emilio Estevez? I remember that movie. Let's find that phone box. Find that phone box. Uh-oh. That's not good. And of course I'm running towards the cabin and that has the window in the back. Because I'm still trying to find the phone box. Text says one reason why I think my Terminator Resident Evil fan series will be good is because it takes Terminator back to its roots as a horror story, but it also adds potential to the lore of both franchises. OG says, my phone is dying. I'm just going to watch on the big screen. Roku, night everyone. Come back, Mr. I. You fit right in here. You do, man. I'm glad Mr. I joined us. We have a new member of the group, I think. Every Friday night. New member of the regulars. Totally fit right into the horror theme, that's for sure. I can still see the chat, but can't respond later, Gators. Have a good night, OG. Sounds good, man. Thanks as always for coming here off the top, joining me from here. OG was here from 6 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 6 o'clock. It was 6. I went on early. God damn it. He was here from the beginning. And I thank you for it, OG. Mr. I says, The Bishop of Battle. It was my favorite story in that movie. And Scott says, anyone remember The Hitcher with Rutger Hauer and C. Thomas Howell? Yep. I remember that movie. Yes, NT. Vampires. This is a great vampire movie. God damn it. Goddamn part 8. You know how fast that shift is. Ah, door's not locked. Mr. Matthews says it's awkward having two Misters. Okay, then I call one. I'll call you M, like I always do M. And I will be I. We'll see how that works. Mr. I says that segment where the video game tries to kill Emilio Estevez. Yes. Go after Tommy. Leave me alone. I'm going the wrong way. Johnny says, recently I saw The Hitcher for the first time. It was really good. I knew it. What am I doing in the water versus Part A Jason? I'm just asking to get killed. Mr. Matthews says, perhaps from here on out, I'll be known as Mr. M.
What?
Don't know how.
Frank the Plank. They're looking for a sweater. Maybe not. Mr. I says another good movie is Stay Alive. That one again rings a bell, but I can't place it. Yes, where you die in the game, you die in real life. Yep.
That was him, not me.
Jason, how you doing today? Are you doing good? Having a nice birthday?
It's not Friday the 13th.
Fuck you!
2006, here it is. I do remember this movie now. John Foster, Samaria Armstrong, Frankie Muniz. Frankie Muniz was in this. Johnny says, oh, one movie is that with Emilio Estevez trying to get the high score in the game, and the game's become real. That's Nightmare, isn't it? No. Text says, one thing my character has fear of drowning. You'll understand why once you read it.
Please no!
I says it's really good, especially if you're a gamer. That's Nightmares. Yeah, I thought so. If you don't mind, I'll call you I and call Mr. Matthews M.
This can't be happening.
Or Mr. I, Mr. Matthews. We'll figure it out.
Jason, I was joking.
Jason, I was joking. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It was just a joke,
joke?
Jason.
You know what a joke is, right?
The Bishop of Battle. That's it. Alright, while we're waiting for this to wrap up, I'm going to change to a different game. And you guys know I do this occasionally. While we're waiting.
I feel like it's nice to meet
Text says, my character, Blue Shogun. Sorry, I forgot to type his name in. While we're waiting for this game to wrap up, I'll play some games over here.
that different. I'm just I mean, well,
How about Rockin' Cats?
I'm a bit of a pussy. But we can still be
Not
friends.
familiar with this game, man. Rockin' Cats.
Please?
Fuck you!
Which channel will I choose? Channel 1? I don't think I remember this game. Ah, getting shot by a dog with a machine gun. Trying to punch a money bag while I'm hanging.
You like that, asshole?
Jason, wait. We can be friends.
Oh, I can go up there. How do I do that? So you have to time it right. Wait a minute, he can jump up there? What the heck? Spectate the other player. There we go. Got it. Got the money bag. Alright. Damn it. Yeah. Hit B again. Oops. Kind of overstepped that one. Yeah.
Help me! Ah!
Might need a little bit more practice at this. This is actually not a bad game. Punch the trash cans that jumped back. I think that's a pig. Punching a pig in a trench coat.
Oh, thank God! Please, send help! Camp Crystal Lake. It's Jason. He's back.
Oh, I think I'm swinging through. I think I hit him there. I did. Oh, and I died. Reset that. Hope it goes to a demo. Oh, no. Let's just go to the turtles then. NT says Rocking Cats is great. It is. I don't remember that game. But like I said, I might have just forgotten it. That's a fun game. Text says, too bad we can't see the other game we're playing. Yeah, I know. I need to get there eventually, so I have a camera on that, and I can switch to that feed. I need to get there. I will one day, Mega. I will one day. M says, anyone else? Anyone can also call me by my real name, too. It'd be weird after all this time, but I'd respond to it once I realized who you were talking about. Mr. Matthews says Rocking Cats is Altus. Text says we have the right to bear arms, but do we have the right to arm bears? Nice. And he says Rocking Cats is all about the extendable glove. You hang from lamps and do a somersault. You use it as a trampoline. You use it to catch items as well. And he says you upgrade with money you collect. End boss is a bulldog in a mobster costume. It looked like fun to me. And Mr. Matthew says, I remember reading about it in Nintendo Power Back in the day. It's a very uncommon game right now. Inti says, I rented it completely in a weekend. I completed it in a weekend. I remember it vividly. Well, I'm going to give it a closer look. It felt like the controls were pretty good. All right. Finally, all these people are dead.
It's all done now, Jason.
7 of 8.
Through. Return to mommy.
Back to the lobby. Back to the lobby. But yeah, we'll bring Rockin' Cats up while we're waiting. Let's see what it sells for on price charting. $79 right now? That's ridiculous. $98. $98. Yes, Mr. Another classic is The Shining. I actually prefer the book there. The movie's pretty good, but I prefer the book. And I actually like the miniseries. Was it 3-part miniseries? They were like 2 hours long. Where it was like straight from the book. But The Shining's another good one. Nope, I found it. Oh, it's an Altus game. Got it. They only make expensive games. Yep. There's one on eBay right now, so I'm going to bring it up. I'm not going to put it on the screen because that might give me a holy wah. Wow. Mr. Rice says the second one was the best. Yes, the newer one was the miniseries. Well, that was in like the 90s, I think. But yeah, Rocking Cats on eBay, with the cartridge, just loose cartridge and the instruction manual, $275. Buy it now. That's Canadian though. That's Canadian. So probably like $220, $230 for you guys, and then $13 shipping. That's ridiculous. But yeah, Mr. I just recently I started rewatching the miniseries. I'm about halfway through. So, what do you think of the sequel? Have you seen Doctor Sleep? I wasn't a fan of the movie, but I was a big fan of the book. I actually like the Doctor Sleep book. I know some King fans don't like it. Scotty says the miniseries aired on ABC back in '97, I think. I think it was around there, but I know Pat Hingle was in it, so I thought it might have been a little bit earlier. Commissioner Gordon from the 1988 Batman, and he looked similar, so I thought it was like the early 90s. Mr. Matthews says, or produce. I don't know if they actually make games themselves. Oh, yeah, and Panic Restaurant was one, right? That was another Altum game. No, that's not one. That's it, Super Widget. Super Widget. Mr. Rice says, what was the name? About Dr. Sleep? The sequel to The Shining, where it's Danny as a grown up. That could be us. That could actually be us, guys. Oh my God, we have a run. We have a run.
They're here, Jason.
So I apologize in
Find
advance
them.
if I ignore the chat for a bit because we need to get down to business. I do not want to get killed. I don't think I picked that knife up. I think it glitched. Or the dart. I hate when that happens. Game is glitchy enough as it is. Don't need to add more glitch to it. This better be the right cabin. Because it kind of moved me. Oh, the miniseries, I mean. Got it. Steven Weber and Rebecca De Mornay, I believe, were in it. Yep. Indy says kill. I'm going to do my best to get as many of them as possible. Just gotta take the power out before we morph. Mr. Matthews says Panic Restaurant was Taito. Yes. Just about everything they have on the NES is stupid expensive too. Was the power box on the other end? Mr. Matthews says the Shining miniseries was incredibly corny, but much truer to the book. Yep. And I enjoyed it for both reasons. Nothing wrong with a little corn, that's for sure. Scotty says, Pete gotta go, gonna do a hangout stream. Feel free to come in. Sounds good, Scott. Take it easy, man. Thanks for popping by. Mr. Matthews says, I'm not sure if that's a fair trade-off. Almost. Almost.
No.
Because these people are good. That Chad don't mess around. And he says the mallet is nowhere near as scary as the axe, even if it would never happen in the book. Whoa, what the heck happened there? Stupid game. Sometimes, I swear. I had that person dead to rights. I like the mallet. It's a more individualistic game. Or form of attack. Oh, come on, pocket knife.
Get up, Jason.
And I says I agree the 1997 Shining was the best. Yep.
They want to hurt
With
you,
Steven
Jason.
Weber. Oh, yes. The Wings. I remember that show. Roke, stroke, roke, stroke.
They want to hurt you, Jason. Don't let them.
Yeah. Few seconds behind on that one again. These people are good and they got buffs. Mr. Matthews says the mallet is the best power-up in Kirby's Adventure.
Oh shit.
Jack Nicholson definitely did make the movie though. I agree with you there, NT. He almost saved it.
Help! Oh God!
See you later, hub.
They deserve to die, Jason. Make them suffer.
I says it was creepy they were trapped in a hotel with a bunch of malevolent spirits possessing the husband. Oh well, Jack Nicholson is awesome. He is. God damn it, I come out of the shift way too early again.
Darling.
Darling yourself. Man, I'm doing bad this run. Yeah, stupid traps.
Get up, Jason. Find them. Kill them.
Oh yeah.
That's my boy. Hunt them down and make them pay.
Better not put that damn bear trap back out, he did.
Copy on the therapy. 20437.
Oh, hitting rocks again. Terrible shifting tonight, guys. I apologize. Should be putting a better show on for you. Goddamn bear traps.
They want to hurt
Always
you,
caught in a bear
Jason.
trap.
Don't let them.
Oh, thank God it.
Really? Really? Stupid rocks, exactly, Tech. I hate that. When you shift into the rocks and you get stuck, you're like, ah, should have it. Should have had that kill.
They deserve to die, Jason. Make them suffer.
Bouncing off the house. I knew they were gonna go for the cabin.
They want to hurt you, Jason. Don't let them.
Now you played your hand. I'm gonna go place my last bear trap at the cabin. Oh yes, Ghost Hunters went to the hotel that it was based on. You guys are talking about The Shining? The Overlook, that's the name of the hotel in the movie, book. Three of 8. Boo. Terrible showing so far. I want to save my abilities though for this showdown with Tommy. You want a hack? You're gonna have a hack.
Jason, that's my special.
It's a cheese kill, but it works. Oh, come on. I came out of the ship too early again. Alright, rage mode. They were in that freaking cabin too. They were in that closet, I missed them. Wow. Wow. Damn it. Well, there goes somebody who's escaped. 4 of 8. Still pretty bad. Yeah, the hotel tries to possess the sun first. But he's too strong in the shine. Oh, come on! So bad on it. Oh, I know, Mega. God damn it. Ah! So frustrating. I'm usually way better on the shifts. Purposely just going in and out of the window, okay. Caught on the wall again. And out early. Time to reset a bit. Oh. Well, that one got away.
No matter what they do to you, you cannot die. You can never die.
Come on, Deborah. Oh, God. I give up. Let's get out. So bad on the shifts. Mr. I says, anyone remember Scariest Places on Earth in the early 2000s? And M says, what channel was it on? Scariest Places on Earth. Something else to check out shortly, as soon as we get the ability to have a cursor back. A pointer.
Come home, sweetie.
Man, I'm usually way better with Part 8. I have been lately. Time to... Tech says the shifts and morphs suck. Ah, they're all good. Just gotta have that. You just have to have the feel down for them. Sometimes I'm better, sometimes than others. But it's time for some Chad. Johnny Lawrence. So here we go. Scariest Places on Earth is an American paranormal reality TV series that aired on October 2000 to 2006. And later in the ABC Family. Show was hosted by Linda Blair. Yes, I remember it now. I do remember it. Says it's still running. They didn't bring it back, did they? Because it says 2002 undefined. Yeah, 16 episodes from 2000 to 2006. And Texas, Johnny Lawrence is prepping for Cobra Kai Season 3. Cobra Kai 3. Scariest Places on Earth. I do remember that. There was a lot of like Fox shows, and then later on ABC, kind of like that, like the urban legends shows and stuff like that. Of course, like Truth, Fact, or Fiction, like Jonathan Frakes. But I do remember I enjoyed that show. A lot of those shows, like the late 90s, early 2000s, like horror related or like legends related shows were good. Mr. Matthew says Zelda Rubinstein. Oh, Mr. S says all the episodes are on YouTube. Very nice. Play a couple runs as Johnny Lawrence for the rest of the night. And Mr. I says the best one was the Polvilgia episode. And Johnny says, was Fact or Fiction the show with the guy from Star Trek? Yep, with Jonathan Frakes. Was it fact or fiction? Texas still waiting for the release date in season 3. We should have gotten something by now. It's been delayed, obviously. I know we haven't got anything, but it's, to me, it's clear they're delaying it. Mr. Matthew says from Poltergeist. Oh, Linda Blair? Ah, yes. From Zelda Rubinstein. She was the other narrator, yep. Why not? The little old lady. Definitely need to check it out. Again. Packanack Lodge, 1984. And of course now we're going to have another run as Jason. When we want to be Chad. Alright, well, hopefully it's a better run than last time. Obviously, none of these people have their Jason turned up.
Make them remember, Jason. Make
Mr. I says, Creepshow's a TV show now. It's on Shudder. Yep. I do enjoy it. We're waiting for season 2 now. That's been delayed also. Now that I know these are Jason killers, I will put 2 on there. M says Creepshow 2 was another movie that scared the crap out of me as a kid. I was more scared of that slime monster than of Jaws. Yeah, oh yeah. The raft. Yep, the oil slick creature from the raft. These people are so annoying. They use every bear trap in the game. They're too good. Yes, I beat you! Did the little kid just tell me to F off? And 2 people already left. Very nice. Well, I'm already down to just 7. Says the ending of the short story was scarier than the movie. It just ends with him realizing that he's hopelessly stuck on the raft. Yep. Johnny says Tales from the Dark Side freaked me out from the cat mummy transforming gargoyle thing. Yes. Whatever. I'm gonna get the throwing knife. Or throwing dart. I says, why not get in the car?
Stop, Jason. They deserve
Why not
to die.
get in the
Make
car,
them
drive like
suffer
5 miles
like
away,
you.
and then yell, I beat you through a bullhorn? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Celebrating there a little too presumptively.
I know you're not trying to chase him. I know you're not.
They want to take you from me, Jason. Don't let them.
TechCom says her chest was hollow. Sure was. Oh, these people, these... Really? Really? No! I screwed it up hard. Oh, God. Yeah. I can't believe I screwed that shift up. The part 8 shift always gets the car. Like, always.
Barbie bitch! Barbie bitch!
Why can't I morph there? Like, it's on the map. Whatevs. Leave match. Forget about those. Go back in. I want to play a Chad run. Mr. Matthew says, did you read the story Mr. I, Stephen King's short stories are much scarier than his novels. And he says The Jaunt is the one that freaked me out the most. And M says, I was thinking about that one recently, Inti.
Hey, Yuri.
Sweet, another group. And Mr. I says, no, I never read it, just read the summary online. And Inti says, that would be the worst thing that could happen to you, get stuck in the jaunt. Mr. Matthews says, Gray Matter is another one that totally creeped me out. Oh yeah, Gray Matter. That's one of the episodes of the first season of Shudder was based on Gray Matter. The first episode, I believe. The season premiere. And Mr. I says, never realized they have sex on the raft in the movie. They make it like he tries to rape her. In the movie, yeah. Mr. I says, typical feminist propaganda for the TV. That it is. Mr. Matthews says, was it? Oh, the Gray Matter? Yeah. The first episode of the new Creep Show on Shudder is based on that story. I'm almost certain it's Gray Matter. Well, I don't have the blood splatter, Jason, so that's not us. Mr. Matthews says, where's the guy drinks a beer and starts turning into a blob monster? Well, quit right away.
God, what happened?
Way to quit. I don't remember that from the... I know which short story you're talking about, but now maybe it was a different one. Now that I'm thinking about it. I need to go back and do research. Mr. S says, yeah, Hollywood is good for that. Definitely present day. Back then even, but even more so now. Tech says, I know. I never saw what you're referring to, but I hate feminist propaganda screwing with entertainment. Not everything is rape. Mr. I says, I like the Blob remake too. We had that discussion last week, Mr. I, about the original and the remake of the Blob. Here, let's go check for the phone box on the barn. Mr. Matthews says, I think it's better than the original, but that's a debate we've had. Yep. Jeepers Creepers, yeah. Mr. I says, I like Jeepers Creepers too. That's a good one. Oh, the premise of the episode. I want to say it's not aliens. Cannibals? Possibly? I could be totally wrong. Tex says the Blob is one horror movie that scares me. In every horror movie I've seen, they've never killed off kids because they never crossed that line. The blob broke that line and killed a kid. Don't know which. No phone box. Johnny says the fake movie they watched in the 88 Blob is great. The Garden Tool Massacre. Wait a minute. Hockey season ended months ago. And Mr. Matthews says it was the little brother's friend in the sewer. No map to be found. And I'm the one running around with the phone part. I ran the wrong way. I guarantee it was on the other side. And that cabin's been cleared. Shutters on that window. Jeebus. Really? Johnny Lawrence is not having much luck. Tech says, don't know which blob it was. The OG or the remake. The girl was getting 2 kids through the sewers and the blob fell on the degenerate kid. Yep, it's got a bear trap on it. Yeah.
Oh! Help me! Please! Anyone! Help! Oh God! Oh.
Dead. Dead. And Mr. Matthews said, yeah, that was the remake. The OG movie was a 50s popcorn teenager movie all the way. That it was. Mr. I says the theater they featured in the blob is in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. And Tech says, thank you, M. I'm now almost tempted to look it up after so many years. Almost. Mr. I said something else that was cool. Drive-in theaters. That's for sure. Drive-in movies were the best. Mr. Mob, or are the best. We still have a couple drive-ins here. Mr. Matthews says the blob is super scary in that horribly body horror way. I love it though. He's probably put another thing back on it, but gonna get some points calling the police. Text says not even
Oh,
Friday the
thank
13th for
God.
all it's did
Please,
went so far as to kill
send
kids,
help.
possibly because Jason is in that
Camp
low
Crystal
Terminator.
Lake.
Tried
It's
to kill a
Jason.
kid, but failed until Dark Fate
He's
screwed that up.
Back.
Copy on the road therapy. 10-4-97.
Mr. I says, I remember you had to tune your radio to the station to hear. Yep. Mr. Matthews says that's also Frank Darabonte. Am I saying that right? The Shawshank Redemption Green Mile director. Three first aids. Let's go, Tommy. Oh, they destroyed the car? Way to go, guys. Mr. I says it's like they're trying to remove all social contact. Yeah.
He's just standing there by the fire.
The Green Mile was awesome. It was. Good movie. And I read the book once, but like a long time ago. Uh-oh. They're right. Just chilling by the fire, so we're just gonna chill in here as Tommy. I think I'm gonna wrap it up after this one, guys. Sorry for the short notice. I usually call out the last match, but I think I'm gonna hop off after we wrap up here. Took that break, but it'd been streaming for like 5 hours, so. Texas, thankfully I didn't accept Dark Fate as Terminator film. Sure, the opening could have led to a possibly a good story of what if John died and how mankind could fare without him, but they screwed it up. They did. They really did. And Mr. I says Dark Fate was more feminist propaganda. Yep. Oh, they're going after him. Just chilling by the fire again. And Mr. I said they actually killed John Connors. Texas calling it early tonight. Yeah, calling quits a little bit early. Like I said, Mega, I was on since 6, so I'm probably going to wrap it up. Got till 11. 2.5 hours. We've been on this stream, the second stream. Maybe one more. If we survive. If Tommy can survive, we'll do one more. Mr. I says, yeah, 5 hours is long enough. Really, though. But no, we'll do one more. We'll do, like these guys said, we normally go later. So, I'll do one more run. That's not as Jason. We'll do a bots run. That's what we'll do. We'll do a bots run to wrap the night up. Text says, I want a good Dark Fate. What watch my vid, Terminator, what if Reese failed to save Sarah? Oh, that person's talking to me. I think they were asking me. I can't hear you, man. Or you can't hear me. I can hear you, but you can't hear me. Thought it would be that way. And NT says there's nowhere to go with the Terminator franchise. Pretty much at this point. They've sucked it dry. Mr. I says, I really hope malls stick around. I can't stand doing all my shopping on a computer. Yeah, I'd like to go out as well. So, hopefully as well. Just stick around for at least a little bit longer. Mr. Matthews says, well, apparently they decided the toilet is the best place to take it. Oh, Tim Miller. No counselors to spectate. Oops. Everybody's escaped. Mr. I says, yeah, they totally ruined Terminator like they ruined Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And Johnny says, I'll take T1, T2, and Salvation. Agreed. T3 is pretty good too. I like T3. Salvation's a lot better than it gets credit for. It's a little bloated, but there we go. You survived. Only because I came back as Tommy. My Chad run was terrible. Mr. I says T2 was awesome. Oh yeah, man. I think it's the best sequel of all time. Maybe Batman Returns would be close to it. Superman 2. There's a lot of good sequels. But it's up there. It's definitely up there. The Liquid Metal. Oh yeah, for the time it was sweet. Mr. Matthews says, I actually like going to the stores and buying real stuff with my own hands, but unfortunately everyone else is pretty much taking that away. Says, I liked Salvation too, Johnny. Texas, the mall of Steamtown here was made into Steamtown Marketplace, which is dull. Only the Viewmont Mall remains. We have Lime Ridge Mall.
So pretty.
Up the mountain, because there's kind of a mountain here. It's not a real mountain, not a mountain, but like a Central North American mountain. No, I'm not playing against players. I don't think I need to put that down. Bit of a waste there. And then downtown where I live, it's Jackson Square. Oh, Robert Patrick. Yeah, Mr. I. Played the villain in Terminator 2.
Jason, my boy, do you know what your gift is? No matter what they do to you, you cannot die. You can never die.
Oh boy.
They want to hurt you, Jason. Don't let them.
What the heck is this bot doing? Like, that person's behind me? Well, now they've run away. So early in the game, I don't even have the shift yet. Two pocket knives, are you kidding me?
Hurt you, Jason. Don't let them.
Meanwhile, I got people repairing cars left and right. Yeah, the battery's repaired over there. Goddamn Shelly. Oh my god. Your bot shooting me in the face.
Up, Jason. Find them. Kill them.
Jumps back in. And pocket knife. Nope. Take that, Shelly. That'll teach you to mess with Jason. And done.
Don't stop, Jason. They deserve to die. Make them suffer like we did.
Really?
Jason, my boy, do you know what your gift is? No matter what they do to you, you cannot die. You can never die.
Come here, Bugsy. Brandon. Why didn't they get the door kill? Oh, because the door was closed. Mr. Matthews says, honestly, a bit more intimidating than Arnie in his way. Mr. I says he was Mr. Matthews. Tech says, the moment Arnie first says, get out, in a pissed off tone with his deathly pale, torn flesh, he was really scary to me as a kid. Going to this one. M says, Mr. I says, the Harvester in Salvation was menacing. It really was. That was one of my favorite parts from Salvation. The idea of the Harvester. Yeah. Come back here, Tiffany. Oh, come on. Can't even shift grab bots tonight. So bad. Terrible, terrible. Oh my god. How am I not catching a bot? This is pathetic. Nope, they're hiding. Oh, yeah. Mr. Bradley says, honestly, I
They
completely
deserve
reject
to
T3
die,
unnecessary
Jason.
sequel in my
Make
opinion.
them
And it was
suffer.
all pretty much the same story over again. Yeah, but you had the female Terminator. So I hear you, man. I hear it's like the McDonald's version of Terminator. But Arnold wasn't the worst in it. Claire Danes was pretty good, and female Terminator. Oh, on the other side of the cabin. Going in the window.
Get up, Jason. Find them.
Tech says, Mr. I true, but there were no harvesters in T1 or 2. Terminator Resistance, as good as it was, also had something like a that just didn't seem quite right from Cameron's Future War.
Oh God!
Mr. Bradley says James Cameron actually retold the story in T2 in a very clever way. T3 did not. How did he get a second? Tommy does not need a second pocket knife.
From me, Jason.
And Mr. I says Dark Fate was the worst movie ever. Baseball batted.
Jason. Don't let them.
Talk to the hand. Talk to the hand. Tech says the Moto Terminators came off as Transformers to me. Would have been better as T600's riding.
Deserve to die,
Riding motorcycles
Jason.
like Arnie in
Make
T1 and
them
T2.
suffer.
God damn it. Missed that shot. A quick shot. Mr. I says I thought they were awesome, and the sound effects for the harvesters were frightening. Time to get bird bath, Jarvis. Take that, Tommy. Tech says it was good, but I understand the issues. One thing could have been helped is acknowledging Marcus Wright as the son of Death Sergeant
Don't
Wright, the
stop,
cop
Jason.
mode,
They deserve to die.
by the car
Make
in
them
T1.
suffer like we did.
That's somebody right here again. And it would have made Marcus's fight with CG Arnie. Oh, for Salvation, yes. More personal. But he was the whole original story, like the first story,
Get up, Jason.
stuff that they cut out.
Find them. Kill them.
Oh, come here. Come here, Vanessa. You don't run away. Oh, look, a second bird bath, guys. It's the night of bird baths, apparently. 2 bird baths. Johnny says that talk to the hand line in 3 hurts too much. Talk to the hand.
They deserve to die, Jason. Make them
The star
suffer.
sunglasses, yes. Where he goes to this male strip club to get the outfit. T3 is a parody of 2. It really hurts. It really is, NT. You're right about that. It really is. Now we need to find these hiders. Tech says, Inti, yes, so the Dark Ending salvaged it. Mr. I says, alright, I'm about to take it down next Friday. Yep. Every Friday, man. You're more than welcome to come back. We do the same thing. Yes, only on Fridays. Only on Fridays for the streaming. I do other stuff, and I might stream like once in a while during the week, but Fridays is the regular night. Fridays at 8:30 is the regular time to be here. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Phantasm. We're doing the Phantasm watch party. Next Friday night. Oh yeah, I should really have the Discord in the thing, but sounds good, Mr. I. See you next week, man. Thanks for stopping in. Glad you could chill with us for tonight. And we're down to this. Just checking beds. Checking beds for people hiding. We got AJ and Deborah. Can a Jason get his rage so we can start just walking in the doors, please? There we go. There they are. They're both standing out. Oh no, somebody's hiding in an outhouse. I thought they were standing beside each other. I'm like, what the heck? Oh, not that one. Must be the one behind. Still not moving.
That's my boy.
And there's the other one.
Make them pay.
Hiding in there, guys. Alright, guys. Ooh. Wrong cabinet. I was about to, like, set up the pitch to end the show. I wonder if it's this one. Okay, guys. That's it. Thanks so much, as always, for everybody who even stopped in for the first part of the show, but Minty, Megatech are here. OG is watching. Johnny was here since the top. OG was here off the top. Mr. I came in and joined us. Some of the other usuals were here. So Snow stopped in.
That's my good boy.
But that is it, guys. Take her out in the outhouse. I did. That is it for tonight. I'll be back next Friday. So remember, we're going to try to do that watch party next Friday for Phantasm, if you can make it. I'll start up streaming. We'll discuss it then if everybody's set up, and then we can switch to that. We can do that. I'll just turn the game off, and we'll do that. And maybe I'll invite some people in. We can talk about it. We'll see how it goes. We'll play it by ear. But that's it. Thanks, guys, as always. But thanks so much for tuning in for as long as we did tonight. So see you next Friday. And I will cue the music. But I got to change the song because I got the wrong song queued up. And I forgot to turn the sound off on this. First. Good night, guys.